The Reserved List is a list of early Magic cards that will never be reprinted. As Magic grows, these cards become more and more scarce. I'll tell you what Reserved List cards belong in your Commander decks. Hello everyone, I'm Jumbo Commander, and this is Reserved List Commander Staples. This is where I focus on a card from the Reserve List that could be within many people's budgets, and find out how it fits into the Commander format. Today's card is Retribution of the Meek, and if you stay tuned, you'll find out a way where you can win a copy of this card. But let's take a closer look at this white board wipe. Retribution of the Meek is 2 and a white for a sorcery that reads, bury all creatures with power 4 or greater. So you might be asking me, what's the big deal? It's just a situational board wipe, and it's kind of expensive, coming in at $6. This doesn't compete against a lot of the modern board wipes. But there's a little bit more to be seen with Retribution of the Meek. It's our ability to have this be a one-sided board wipe. In the right deck, we can have most of our creatures dodge this and wipe out your opponent's board. Now, if we look at one-sided board wipes, we can see that there's a much bigger discrepancy between Retribution of the Meek's 3 mana cost and, let's say, the 7 mana cost of Mass Calcify, the 7 mana cost of Cyclonic Rift, the 9 mana cost of Ingarrick's Wake, and how much mana will we have to pump into Bonfire of the Damned to make it a one-sided board wipe. Now you must be asking yourself, we must be able to reproduce this effect outside of the reserved list, and we can. If we look at one of my favorite planeswalkers in Commander, Elspeth Sun's Champion, we can see that her -3 reads, destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater. Now this again is kind of expensive, sitting at 6 mana, but by the way, Elspeth is great. And then Elspeth can be supported by some other cards at 5 mana. We have Fell the Mighty, destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. This does require a target, which makes me nervous, but we can also rely on Dusk for 4 mana, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. That does limit some of our flexibility because we're down to power 3 or greater getting destroyed. And all of these are more expensive than Retribution of the Meek. But as you can see, there's a lot of board wipes in Magic, and some of them even reproduce the effect of Retribution of the Meek. And so you might be tempted to just say, forget about it, it's $6, it's a little bit too expensive, I'll spend a little bit more and get an Elspeth, it's more flexible. But one thing I want to caution you about is, in Commander, you need redundancy. You need multiple effects that do the same thing because it's 100 cards, singleton format, and if you have a strategy that revolves around this type of effect, then you're going to want more than one. Let's take a look at another card that could do something similar, and that's Austere Command. Also coming in at 6 mana, Austere Command can maybe hit the right creatures you want to hit. Although coming in at $9, it's actually more expensive than Retribution of the Meek, and we can see that it's not on the reserve list because there's a new printing of it coming out in Iconic Masters with very good art, I have to say, and it's pre-selling for $6, the same price as Retribution of the Meek. Very cool. I like having multiple effects, and I honestly think you should pick up an Austere Command. It's honestly way more flexible than Retribution of the Meek, being able to hit artifacts and big creatures. It really answers what you want to answer. But hang on, even though you should go out and buy copies of Austere Command when Iconic Masters comes out, I want to be focusing on Retribution of the Meek and other cards that could support this. Let's think about cards like Ensnaring Bridge, Meekstone, and Crackdown. All of these will shut down the board when you have high-powered creatures. So I can already see a strategy building up here. I have tons of board wipes that take out all of your creatures and not mine. I have artifacts and enchantments that lock and slow down the board. And what creatures am I sitting with? Puny 1/1s? Well, maybe I'm sitting with Adoran the Siege Tower, a 0/5 that makes creatures attack with their toughness rather than their power. And this is a strategy that Wizards loves. It keeps coming up over and over again. There is a dinosaur in the most recent set that deals with this, also a salt formation. This is a mechanic that is coming back. I also built an awesome deck a little while ago, I'll link it in the description, with Ikra Shadiki the Usurper, Sidar Kondo of Jamora, and I've thrown in Timna the Weaver, all of these partners working together to make a Toughness Matters evasive deck. And heck, if you're going to go wide with little tokens, like a Reese the Redeem deck, there's nothing better than wiping out your opponent's board and getting in with 1/1s. I think Retribution of the Meek is a very narrow card in Commander, but definitely worth it. And so if you want to get your copy for free, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below. And if you're a patron, I have 2 copies of this to give away to one of you. And speaking of patrons, I want to thank you so much. This video is brought to you by my patrons and these giveaways as well. Patrons, you make these videos happen. Thank you, thank you. And thank you for watching. Remember to win your own copy of Retribution of the Meek. My name is Jumbo Commander, and I'm really happy you joined me for this video. I'll see you really soon.